Assalamu alaikum, dear students and viewers. Hope you will be all right by the grace of Almighty Allah. Today, my topic is various organs of the management, that is planning, organizing, directing, controlling, and budgeting. So today we will discuss about the planning and have a worm's eye view on meaning, characteristics, importance, process of planning, and limitations. Hope you will be attentive. Planning. Planning is the course of action to be taken in future. By planning, we precede course of action. Planning is the process of deciding in advance what is to be done, where, when, and by whom. It involves determination of objectives to be achieved as well as activities required to achieve the objective. For example, if a trader wants to increase sales, in order to achieve his objectives, he should examine various alternatives, for example, advertising, price cut, better service to the customers, etc. Planning is the process of selecting the best alternatives among all available alternative courses of action. It is the mental exercise. Planning is the mental exercise that requires imagination, foresightness, and sound judgment. It is thinking before. So, what is its importance? What is the role of planning? How it is carried out? It is looking ahead, anticipating the future, and deciding the course of action to be taken. According to Kuntz and O'Donnell, planning is deciding in advance what to do, where to do, when to do, and who is to do it. So this was a brief description about the meaning of planning. Now we will take here the characteristics. What are the characteristics? Number one, planning as the first function of management. Number two, planning is the function of all managers. Number three, planning is dynamic, not static. Next, planning is realistic, and next, planning involves forecasting. Number one, planning as the first function of management. Planning, as per the experts, it is the process of management first, and management starts from planning. As such, it is called the essence of management. The whole management revolves around it, and therefore it is also called the crux of management. Number two, planning is the function of all managers. Every manager must plan TLM, that is top level management, and has to devote more time to planning and then translate to the other levels of management. Planning is dynamic. As I earlier mentioned, planning is not static, it is dynamic. It is dynamic function in the sense that the change and modification of are continuously done in the planned course of action. It modifies or change cannot be included in plans. It is said to be then bad planning. So I have mentioned, I have discussed planning as the first function of management. Then planning is the function of all managers. Then planning is dynamic. Now we have to discuss now planning is realistic. Sound planning encourages creative thinking. By planning, managers get opportunity to develop new ideas, apply those ideas in creating new product and services, and that leads to growth and expansion of the business. Next point is planning involves forecasting. Planning serves the basis of sharing the efforts of different departments and individuals, and then established by of common goals and and help to secure the unity purpose of cooperation between different departments and sectors. So this was the fourth point, and now fifth point. Fourth point. Fifth point is planning involves a plan always outline the result to be attained, as such it is realistic in nature. Planning involves forecasting. Planning largely depends upon accurate business forecasting. The scientific technique of the forecasting helps us in projecting the future trends. So these were the main 5 points which I have mentioned in the characteristics. Now we will touch the process. No importance of this planning. Number one, planning makes goals clear. Planning makes goals clear and specific because goals to be achieved are decided before choosing the course of action. Planning decides whether the activity is becoming effective or not. If then it becomes fragile and it does not work smoothly. It reduces risk and uncertainty. Yes, business operators in an uncertain environment. Planning involves these business enterprise to predict future events, to prepare to face the unexpected events. By planning, the manager can identify potential dangers and take steps to overcome these difficulties. Then we have planning promotes creativity. As I mentioned, a plan always outlines the result to be attained, and as such it is realistic in nature. Then it helps us in planning, helps us in coordination. Yes, it helps us in coordination. Planning largely depends upon accurate business forecasting. It helps us because it gives a coordination between different aspects, between different groups of people, top level management, middle level management, and lower level management. Unless and until these steps are not taken frequently, the prospects for its eradication will be somewhat bleak. So we have discussed briefly the 4 points. Now we will discuss about the process of planning. There are various processes of planning. Number one is determination of objective, collection and analysis of data. Number three, determine of alternative course of action, determination of alternative course of action, selective of best alternative course of action, formation plans, communication plan, and controlling plan. Number one, determination of objective. The first step in planning is to determine clearly the objective of business. It is starting point that everybody in the organization must know what is to be achieved in future. By planning, it becomes clear, and therefore activities are very needful in these determination of objectives. Now we have collection and analysis of data. For effective planning, all relevant data should be collected and classified. Suggestions should also be invited from other. The data so collected should be felicitated and analyzed and then interpret. Number three, we have determine of alternative course of action. In this step, the planning has to discover more than one course of action. Then we have selective of best alternative. We have determination of alternative course of action. That was determine of alternative course of action. Now we have fourth point, determination of alternative course of action. Each alternative course is evolved on its result. The strong and the weak points should be carefully measured in order to make evaluation process effective. The usual techniques involves like statistical technique, and operational research, etc. So these were the 4 pointers which I mentioned. Now what is fifth? Selective of best alternative course of action. After the comparison of different alternatives or tabulated classification, the alternative which seems to be the best is selected. Now sixth point, formation plans. What is the formation plan? For achieving the objective of main selected plan, to every manager managing or from to every this managing or framed order to in order to implement the main plan which a department have to perform a plan on his own department in order to formulate these plans off and on. So these were the 6 points which I have mentioned in this process. Now we have communication of plan and controlling of plan. We have communication of plan and controlling of plan. Yes, we will discuss them. Then we will take limitations. Now, so seventh point, communication of plan. The next step is planning, is communication the selected plan to every managing level in the organization so that they can operate wholeheartedly in the implementation of plan. Eighth, controlling the plan. In this step of planning, note down the shortcoming and weakness of plan. These shortcomings should be selected carefully without any delay so that the future plan becomes clear and visible to the planners. So these were the seventh, eighth point of this process. Now we will discuss about the limitations. What are the limitations of this planning? Costly. Number one, planning is an expensive process. Money and efforts have to be spent in forecasting of information, evolution of alternative, etc. So all this work needs lot of money, etc. Then number two is time consuming. Lot of time is also required for collecting, analysis, and interpretation of information and data for planning. Therefore, it is not possible it's not possible to coop up the things with a specific time. So it needs a lot of time, which is very difficult, which is not practicable for in emergencies. Then we have rigidity. Once the plans are implemented, it must need some changes according to the change of environments. So there should be flexibility in the use of planning. Now, last we have inaccuracy. As you know, planning wholly depends upon the forecasting. One is the forecasting is inaccurate, so it leads chaos, confusion, and misleading, and hence inaccuracy increases, which has a contraindication of the planning. So this was a brief description about planning, meaning, characteristics, importance, and process. In next chapter, inshallah Rahman, we will have a discussion, third discussion on other points of this planning, other fields of planning. Till then, Khuda Hafiz. Thank you, so kind to you.